Das große Finale hier am Donauinselfest. Es wird sehr schön, es ist gerade sehr regnerisch draußen, aber wir trotzen dem Regen und ziehen das einfach alles wunderschön durch heute und freuen uns schon sehr auf ein Konzert von K.Flay heute zum Beispiel. Die ist auch gleich bei uns hier. Hello K.Flay.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm kind of wet, but otherwise very good.
Yeah. I listened to your music all day today, and I started listening to it when it was still sunny. And I was still listening to it when it was raining. And you know what? It worked in both ways. It worked in like, what do you think is like the best weather to listen to your music? Or is it like my experience that it doesn't matter?
I think it might be your experience. You know, I think there's some kind of balance between sort of lightness and darkness that I feel all the time. And I think it's a good thing. Like, I think it's good to remember that it's beautiful. The world is beautiful, but the world is also like kind of devastating in other ways, and there's like a fine balance between those two. So maybe it'd be better if it was raining in the morning and then sunny at night. I don't know.
Well, especially for your show, that would be the best, right?
I know. Well, we were joking. So if it continues to rain and it rains during my set, this will be the first set I've ever played, and I'm talking like this is now 6-7 years of touring outside shows that it will have rained. I'm like a witch. Yeah. So normally it stops. So we'll see.
Oh my God, that would be amazing if that will actually happen and if it will stop. Because like the weather report says it will rain until 9 p.m. If it stops raining before then you actually have like like magic powers.
I know. We'll see. It's already happened a few times this summer in the U.S. for festivals that we were playing. So we'll see. Yeah. But I would say like maybe like 40-50 shows that it's been raining, it stopped before my set. So Vienna, do me something good here.
Yeah. All right, it is totally gonna happen. I believe in you. I believe in your magic powers. Is there something we can do to help? Like just, some spells?
Just being you. You don't need to change. Never change.
Seriously? Is that your life advice in general to people?
No, not all people. I just kind of like you, so I'm telling you not to change. No, some people definitely should change. Or at least try to be more open. I think maybe changing is a bad verb to use. Instead, it might be more useful to reframe it as like being more open to learning, being more curious, being more kind of generally humble. Because I think learning, right, inherently assumes that you don't know things, and therefore it's kind of a position of humility. So I think learning is a really nice way it's a nice thing to feel like you're always doing, because it also means that you feel like you don't know everything, which you don't, I don't, he doesn't. Well, the camera might. Maybe the camera knows everything.
Well, it sees everything.
It sees everything, but it's seeing knowing.
Oh my God, this is going so deep now. Well, let's go into the depth of your lyrics then as well. What I really like about your lyrics is they're almost a little bit like a self-therapeutic kind of thing. Like you really seem to like channel a lot of like stuff that is going on internally inside of you. Is that ever something that you get like, because writing music is a very, very personal experience, right? So you're like really like just yourself or whatever, and you come up with these lyric ideas, but then you perform them live on a stage for all these other people. Is that ever something that you get a little bit worried about, or like that you get scared, or that you were afraid of originally? That you were like, I'm basically opening myself in front of everyone right now?
You know, there was only kind of one moment when it was hard. I think my family like got a little bit worried about me and whether I was like emotionally, like, you know, what I was up to, because it's, you know, I think music is this way to, as you say, deal with a lot of the darkness that I feel within myself. But it's also like I'm kind of only exploring the darkness. There's so much levity and carefreeness to who I am, but that's not really where my music ends up living. And once I kind of explain that to them, that, you know, this is one side of me, but there's a lot of sides of me. And I think we all experience that, right? Like in your work life and your personal life, and there's all these different sides to who you are and what you do. Like the way you act at a concert. Yeah. You might be like, I've met people who are like wild at concerts, like in the pit, like whatever, and then in life they're just super polite. You know, everybody has a moment of release when they're tapping into something more primal, I think, within themselves. And for me, that's music. And I will tell you this, it's kind of like getting naked in front of people. Once you start doing it, It's really easy, like, because people expect it. They're like, oh yeah, she gets naked. She's like naked or whatever.
So you don't imagine the audience naked. You basically imagine, like, to get less nervous, you basically imagine yourself naked.
Yeah. And I think that's for me, I always try to think about however I'm acting on stage or behaving or kind of like exuding energy, that informs how the crowd is gonna also exude energy and behave. And so if I'm vulnerable and authentic and wearing my regular clothes, that's gonna make other people feel that they can be themselves too. So, but that being said, there are times when being so honest is kind of scary, and you know, because I'm also talking about real people and real situations and myself, and there's a vulnerability there, I think.
Yeah. But people are saying, talk about or write about what you know, right? Don't make up stories. Write about yourself. Talk about yourself.
Well, I think some people are great at kind of conjuring stories. So I think it depends on the kind of music and the kind of work you want to create. But you know, I'm like a huge reader, and I love novels. And one of the things that when you listen to interviews with novelists, they say is so much of what they write about is drawn from real life, even though it's fiction. And I think that feels like a real sensibility to me. That, you know, not everything I write is 100% autobiographical, but it's informed by real events.
Yeah. So in that regard, your own creativity, is that something that you kind of feel like you have to do it? You have no choice? Like your creative output is in charge of yourself? You have to be artistic, you have to be creative? Or is it something that you consciously have to channel?
It feels pretty natural. I think the basic joy that comes with having an idea in your head or having a feeling like, oh, I feel like a loser for X, Y, and Z reasons. Mm-hmm. And then taking that feeling and examining it, articulating it in a new way, and then making something that people can share on the internet, like making a physical thing. And when you make a CD or a vinyl or whatever, like it is this physical thing that you've created literally out of your mind. Yeah. And for me, that's the part that feels kind of imperative. That's the part that I feel I don't need to make a conscious effort. I just want to do that, you know.
But do you think about how people are going to perceive your music while you write it, or do you just kind of do it for yourself and put it in a genre or put it in a sound that you personally just like?
A couple of years ago, I definitely was considering how it would be perceived, what people would think, and then I sort of, you know, had this. I left my label. I was on a major label. I started my own label, put out a record independently, and when that happened, it was also a shift, I think, in terms of my goals when I was writing and making music, and I stopped worrying about that stuff, and I just kind of, I was kind of at the end of my rope, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna do what feels right to me and what feels authentic to who I am. And when I did that, strangely enough, I found that more people liked it. Yeah. You know, when I was less concerned with if people would like it. So that was a very instructive experience for me, because I think it demonstrated to me the power, especially with the kind of music I make, of being honest, being transparent, being authentic, and not so concerned with the outside, you know, more about like the inner essence of whatever I was doing.
All right. I saw a really interesting interview with you where you were talking about the concept of like young kids nowadays not really approaching stuff in like musical genres anymore. Mm-hmm. Everything gets like mixed together and people don't even think about it much anymore. And this is like a thing that really a young generation has. Yeah. This is something that I think about a lot as well, because it used to be so different when I was young, or maybe when you were younger. Yeah. That it was so important what genre something inhabits or where it comes from, and now no one gives a fuck. It's just like anything goes or whatever. Do you have that with your music as well, that you just think I don't care, or do you still have a name or a genre definition or whatever for what you do?
I definitely don't. You know, I think I've embraced that genrelessness in what I do, and you know, again, it sort of harkens back to what we were just talking about, but you know, being concerned with how other people will perceive what I'm doing, to me, that's connected to the genre. Like, if something feels compelling and exciting to me, it doesn't matter if I'm like if I'm rapping this weirdo, even my new record, I have like a weird rap, I don't even know what the hell it is, song, and then I have like kind of super indie stuff, and then things that are a little bit more in the middle. And I really appreciate being able to go between genres, because I do feel like the constant there is my perspective as a narrator and as a lyricist. And hopefully, ideally that ties everything together. But I think it's great. I mean, even if you think about like gender labels or sexuality things, like there are many ways in which our society, in a global way, is moving further from you're this, you're that, where it feels like, okay, it's just a spectrum. Like sometimes you're this, sometimes you're that. Sometimes you like are really loud and play gnarly guitar riffs, and sometimes you're like really quiet and play the piano, and that's okay to do both of those things and everything in between.
What do you think about the concept of a guilty pleasure then? Do you...
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay.
Like, do you have that? Do you feel like this is a guilty pleasure, or is like my pleasure cannot be guilty?
Right. Okay. I would like to have the type of enlightenment where no pleasure was associated with guilt. I think that would be, although, many societies and religions are based upon using like guilt and shame to direct people's behavior. So, yeah, it would be nice if I felt pleasure without guilt. And then, now that I'm thinking about it, sometimes like you'll say something is a guilty pleasure to let people know that, well, you don't really like it, but you do really like it. It's like a cop-out. So do I have any guilty pleasures?
I really like the new Miley Cyrus song, Malibu.
So do I.
Yeah, it's a great song,
actually,
isn't it?
her performance, I can't remember what it was, some award show, Billboard award show maybe? I thought it was so good. And see, but maybe it should. Why is it guilty?
Well, I stopped seeing it as guilty, so now I'm just enjoying all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm listening to new metal as well again now, and I've fucking enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I think, but again, guilty is right to like make you seem, okay, I'm still in this world or whatever. Like I'm a big Selena Gomez fan.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes when people are like, oh, what's a guilty pleasure? But it's not a guilty pleasure. I like her music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there you go. Just
All
a
right.
pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for taking your time. K.Flay hier jetzt bei uns, gleich auf der Bühne beim Donauinselfest. Wir hoffen, I hope you will be correct and it will stop raining.
I know.
When you start, it's raining less already.
It's raining less already. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
For
right.
no rain. The Witch.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Danke.